Today, I am appealing for your earnest support for the Anti-Financial Account Scamming Act, or AFASA, where account holders of e-wallets like Maya and GCash had their money siphoned out of their wallets. Tulad po ng inyong nakita sa video, kasama po sa mga naging biktima ng mga scammers na ito ay isang cancer patient na gagamitin sana ang kanyang pera para sa kanyang chemotherapy at mga gamot.
We ask Secretary to proceed with the video of the measure.
An act prohibiting money mules and other fraudulent acts involving bank accounts, e-wallets, and other financial accounts and providing penalties therefore.
Mr. President, to sponsor the measure, I move that we recognize our Deputy Majority Leader, Senator Mark Villar, Chairperson of the Committee on Banks, Financial Institutions, and Currencies, to deliver the sponsorship speech.
Our distinguished colleague, Senator Mark Villar, the Chairman of the Committee on Banks, is recognized.
Mr. President, my esteemed colleagues, our honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant afternoon to all of you. I am honored to stand before you as a champion against any and all kinds of scams and cyber crimes. Today, I am appealing for your earnest support for the Anti-Financial Account Scamming Act, or AFASA. Recently, we have observed a trend towards digitalization of transactions for both government and private sector. However, there is also the alarming rise of cases of online scamming as reported by the PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group and the NBI Cybercrime Division. One issue that we need to first act upon as we digitalize our economy. Mr. President, what we're about to show you are only a few Filipinos out of the thousands who fell victims to online scammers.
Kwento ni John Bansil, January 23 nang masimot ang 10,600 pesos sa kanyang account at nalipat sa isang merchant kahit wala na.
President, apart from what you have watched, we had hundreds of cases of scamming reported to the NBI Cybercrime Division just 2 weeks ago, where account holders of e-wallets like Maya and GCash had their money siphoned out of their wallets. These e-wallet users had their hard-earned money transferred to a particular merchant despite having no transactions with them. More than 300,000 pesos po ang nawala sa mga e-wallet users in just a snap, Mr. President. Tulad po ng inyong nakita sa video, kasama po sa mga naging biktima ng mga scammers na ito ay isang cancer patient na gagamitin sana ang kanyang pera para sa kanyang chemotherapy at mga gamot. Because of these scammers, he was deprived of the care he needed at the crucial time. This shows that the impact of scamming goes beyond financial distress for scam victims. The same can also be said for the thousands of victims who reported their cases to the PNP Anti-Cybercrime Division last year. Mr. President, in the span of only 8 months, the PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group reported drastic numbers of Filipinos who fell victim to different financial cybercrimes, such as online selling scams, investment scams, ATM fraud, phishing, call scams or vishing, employment scams, loan scams, package scams, profile hijacking, accommodation scams, and love scams. From January to August of 2023, the proliferation of multiple types of scams has financially burdened victims who have lost a total of 155,204,358, resulting in financial losses for more than 8,000 Filipinos. One of these types of scams, ATM or credit card fraud or phishing victimized more than 600 individuals, totaling a loss of 3,193,209 pesos. The PNP ACG reported that most of the victims of this type of scam belong to the 41 to 50-year-old age group. This speaks volumes of how vulnerability to online scams endangers the way of life of our fellow Filipinos, especially those who are already in disadvantageous situations. Mr. President, just last week, this representation was informed that there is a new type of scam going around, the QR code scam, wherein scammers defraud financial account holders through the use of devious QR codes. Nakakuha po ng mga scammers na ito ang mga QR codes ng mga financial account holders at ginagamit nila ito para sa mga unauthorized transactions. Ang pinaghihirapan ng ating mga kapwa Pilipino na para sana sa kanilang pang-araw-araw na gastusin ay ninanakaw lamang ng mga scammers. These are heinous crimes against our people, Mr. President, and it is upon us to ensure that they will be put to a stop as soon as possible. Currently, we have laws that intend to protect the public against online banking and financial scams. Some of these laws are the following: Republic Act number 11765, or the Financial Products and Services Consumer Protection Act, which is intended to protect the interests of consumers of financial products and services. Number 2, the Republic Act 1934, or the Subscriber Identity Module or SIM Registration Act, which mandates the registration of all SIM cards issued by telecommunication companies. And number 3, Republic Act number 10175, or the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, which has been the primary law that punishes illegal and abusive internet-related crimes, including financial cybercrimes. Notwithstanding the enactment of the said laws, and despite strong efforts of the anti-cybercrime group to hold scammers accountable for their crimes, some of the complaints submitted to them could not be filed in courts due to the difficulty of tracing and identifying the perpetrators. Another difficulty in filing cybercrime cases is the tedious process of obtaining necessary data from banks and financial institutions. Once reported to the Philippine National Police, they need first to secure cyber warrants against the banks or financial institutions concerned to get access to the records to unearth the scammer's identity. While they can get the digital footprint from the banks, the existing laws related to data privacy, Bank Secrecy Law, and Data Privacy Act further prohibit access to specific information, creating another layer of difficulty in attribution. The bureaucratic hurdles of securing the identity of scammers heighten their assurance that they will not be caught. As such, it is high time that we eliminate this self-assurance by enacting laws that will effectively address the looming problems of scamming. As presented, the responsiveness of our laws to address the rising number of financial scams is wanting. This is due to the fact that the modus of these scammers is evolving faster than the capability of our law enforcement agencies to deter them. The current laws we have that deal with the financial cybercrimes are essentially centered on criminal prosecution rather than crime prevention. Now we have the AFASA, which is aimed at preserving the trust of the public in online and digital finance transactions, also further boosting digital trade by providing not only the appropriate sanctions, but also the authority and power to concerned government agencies to prevent fraud. Allow me to present the salient features of the sponsored measure as we pursue institutionalized efforts that can effectively go against scammers who have denied our fellow Filipinos the right to safe and secure digital transactions. Mr. President and esteemed colleagues, the AFASA will provide safety measures that will go after financial cybercrimes, such as being a money mule, committing social engineering schemes, and economic sabotage. The AFASA will serve as a firewall against these financial cybercrimes that will help us restore and preserve the trust of the public in digital transactions and further boost digital trade by providing appropriate sanctions against online scammers. AFASA also provides the responsibility of responsible institutions to protect and secure their clients' financial accounts, such as mandating them to have adequate risk management systems and controls, including but not limited to multi-factor authentication, fraud management systems, other account holder enrollment, and verification processes. They are granted the authority, with the period subscribed by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, to temporarily hold disputed funds that are subject to complaints from an aggrieved party and based on information from another responsible institution. These responsible institutions shall be held liable for any loss or damage incurred against their clients if they do not comply with the requirements for adequate risk management systems and controls as determined by the BSP. Magkakaroon na po ng solusyon ang ating mga kababayan na maibalik sa kanila ang perang kanilang pinaghirapan nang hindi na kinakailangan na lumapit sa alinman hukuman Through AFASA, we will have stronger safeguards against fraudulent transactions by arming our financial institutions with risk management systems that will grant them sufficient power and authority to flag suspicious transactions. Further intensified penalties from fines of hundreds of thousands to life imprisonment are imposed by AFASA against convicted scammers. It also identifies corporate liabilities or when the crime is committed on behalf of or for the benefit of a juridical person or a person leading a corporation to have the fine increased to at least double the imposed or up to a maximum of 10 million pesos. This signifies our commitment to lessening and then completely eradicating scammers and their crimes against our fellow Filipinos. Mr. President and my dear colleagues, hindi na po natin hayaan na tumaas pa ang bilang ng mga nabibiktima ng mga online scams. Kapag naipasa na ang AFASA, mababawasan po at matitigil na ang paglaganap ng mga scams na ito. Mabibigyan natin ng peace of mind ang mga Pilipino na ang kanilang mga pinaghirapan ay hindi mapupunta sa mga scammers. Mr. President, to close, allow me to extend my gratitude to our esteemed colleagues who helped in crafting the AFASA. Our dear Senate President Mig Subiri, Senate Pro Tempore Loren Legarda, Majority Leader Senator Joel Villanueva, Senator Grace Poe, Senator Amy Marcos, Senator Jingo Estrada, and Senator Win Gatchalian. Thank you very much to our colleagues here at the Senate and our counterparts in the House of Representatives who earnestly worked hard to help us in our fight against scammers. In a country where almost 20% of the population live in poverty, Filipinos should not be further burdened by the fear of being scammed, even through the most unsuspecting ways. We owe it to our countrymen to protect them from the devious ways of scamming and to strengthen their confidence in our banking and financial institutions. I cannot just sit and do nothing while these scammers steal the hard-earned money of our kababayans. Scammers should not be given further slack to continue their opportunist activities against unwilling victims. The false promise of these scammers should be shattered by our unwavering commitment to provide a Philippines where scammers do not proliferate. Through the AFASA, we are looking forward to the future of a scam-free Philippines. Maraming salamat po sa inyong suporta.
Maraming salamat sa ating sponsor, Senator Mark Villar.